love isn't an emotion only, it's actually a skill. And that's why I think we have a lot of people failing at it, and like I think marriages over 50% failing. So when I go on dates, I like to obviously get to know them. I'm not trying to impress them. If they don't like the quirky me, they don't like the quirky me. That's good. They better see that soon, right? And when it comes to trying to get to know them, these are some of the questions I use on a date, so you can feel free to use them. I'm trying to understand them. So I like to ask about the childhood, like how they were as a child and the relationship with their siblings and parents. That gives me, especially their father as a guy. And for you girls, you should look into the relationship with their mothers because they'll tell you a lot about them. It gives you a preview of who you're getting to know emotionally first. So these are some of the questions I ask on top of the childhood questions. So I preface this with saying, like, we're all a little crazy in some way, shape, or form. So how are you crazy? And when you ask that, they all laugh. They're like, ha, ha, ha. And then they're like, ha, ha, like, how do I answer this? But this is a good question. I believe so. I like this because if they're honest, they have an answer already, right? Like, well, I guess if you want to know this, it might scare you away. Boom, tell me. Yeah. And I'll do the same thing. And so you better be ready to answer these questions too. When you're asking them, they usually just say, what about you? I wish they were like more creative and say something different, but they're going to just say, what about you? So be ready to answer them yourself. All right. Second, if I called your 3 best friends right now, and one of them could be a family member, but these are the friends that are brutally honest. You kind of love them, but you kind of hate them because they're brutally honest. And I asked them to describe you using just one word. What would each of them say? They all get one word. Oh, they love this one because they're like, it's really like, I don't like to be the 21 questions. You don't like, it's boring and I don't feel you need them. The first date should be fun, but these are some of the questions I will do on the first dates because I want to know, do we waste each other's time or are we, will we have fun? Will we get along? And it's more than just chemistry, right? It's like compatibility too. And then third is, what's your favorite thing about yourself? And whatever they lead with tells you a lot about them, right? What character trait do they talk about physically? I don't know how they'll answer, right? Also, when it comes to why I keep dating, even though I absolutely hate dating, I'm sure most of it in the same boat, like dating sucks. For guys and girls, right? We're all there. However, it's the only way you're going to get that mirror perspective. It's if I want to shave certain areas or, cut my hair in the back, like they give you that perspective that only a mirror could give you. Like, hey, did you ever notice you have a mole in the back of your head or whatever, right? Like you never would have seen unless you had that because they see the blind spots. And that's what relationships do. So I do a lot of like quote unquote practice or training as far as like getting to know myself, becoming a person that I would want to date, right? And we all do that. But the reason why I will want to get in a relationship, no matter how much I hate dating, is because that's the only time you get to practice those skills. It's the only time you get to see the blind spot and you're like, have you noticed that anytime I get close to you and I start asking you real questions, you get like awkward, you get scared. Like we won't go real, we won't go deep. Why? That tells you something. Because the thing is, we gravitate towards the familiar, even if it's painful, even if it's hurt us. Like we grew up with like an avoidant father, right? He was too busy. He wasn't around, didn't show us love. He didn't say, I love you so much. And then we find a guy who's kind of mysterious, doesn't tell us a lot about him. And he doesn't like, I don't know, he's not so lovey-dovey. And anytime you text him, he takes a week to respond or a few days. Yeah, it's pretty avoidant, right? Like it's just, if someone likes you, they will text you ASAP. If you are a priority to them because that first interaction is like, wow, it's just amazing, they'll text you. It doesn't matter how busy you are. So if you have like a person that's overbearing, you find that out also because they had a parent that's usually overbearing. That was a helicopter parent. And since a good saying from a therapist I also follow, Dr. Deloney, he says, we all marry our unfinished childhood business. And I had the childhood from another therapist I follow, which is Devon. I forget his full name. He's such a good guy, but that's where this whole thing got inspired. So we are literally just playing out our unfinished childhood business in real time. And then we wonder why we're attracted to this mysterious person. No, they remind you of something. And even though, it's like a potential, like, hey, they love drinking too, but that's okay. Like they were raised with it. So they're going to go to the familiar, even though it's painful, instead of going to an unfamiliar thing, an unknown, but let's say they don't drink or XYZ, right? It's just, I don't know that. I don't know how to deal with that. They're healthy. Oh, weird. So love in the end is a skill. So you better start learning it.